This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here today. Look, I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is like the moment where I think, there's several moments that become like watermark moments. And I think this is pretty much one of those that shows the kind of momentum that is behind crypto now. We're going to look at some information today that really shows us the momentum is with us and crypto is coming, and it's coming in a big way. All right, guys, before we get started, we do the numbers. And I want to tell you, the numbers are brought to you today by Unstoppable Domains. I know you've heard me talk about these guys before. I have been buying up Unstoppable Domains like crazy. It's the new .com era for crypto. So you can buy a .crypto domain name, and it's amazing. Guys, last night I was sitting on the couch. I was just chilling. I was reading some news on Twitter on my phone, and I just got the idea, and I was like, you know what? I got thinking about like different payment services and things like that where there's constant payments or people that are going to want to pay with crypto and things like that. I go down ideas for gambling, casinos. I had ideas for all kinds of stuff. Somebody told me in the comment section a couple of days ago they bought Chevrolet.crypto and Nissan.crypto. That's incredible. And I was able to get this morning Privé Jets.crypto, which is a private jet service, which I believe I will be using in the future. And I tried to get Wheels Up, which is another private jet service, but that was actually taken, so I couldn't get that. So, or trademark protected, one or the other. And then I was able to get I tried to get Weed.crypto, but it was listed as premium, so I couldn't get it. But I know that like casinos, stuff with like medical marijuana, cannabis, things like that. I know people are hip to crypto in those sectors, and they're going to want to pay, and these would be some of the early places I believe adoption really gets going in a quick way. So I try to think of these things, and I'm just trying to give you guys ideas as well. So I was able to get iLikeWeed.crypto, and I think somebody's going to want that in the future. So make sure any ideas you have, go check it out. It's fun to do, and it's just really one of these things where I feel like we're on the beginning of something special. So let's go ahead and get to it, guys. Let's do the numbers. It's $10,326.02 for Bitcoin. Ethereum, $368.45. XRP is 24 cents. And I don't mind telling you, I don't think it's for much longer. I have a sneaky suspicion in my mind that I think it goes from where we are in the price today to just a classification that makes it out and out regulated while it remains a decentralized asset, and the ledger being deemed very, very important, obviously, to its systemic financial market infrastructure. And I believe it will send the price to the moon. I'm really starting to lean even harder into that than I have since the first day of my channel. So right here, I'm looking at it, 24-hour volume, 1.6 billion. It's up 3%. And the market cap is at 11 billion plus. And the 24-hour number 1.6. Okay, and the total circulating supply is still right now at 45 billion, 11 million plus. Those are your numbers. A lot of news to go over this morning. Let's go ahead and get into this because it's all very, very exciting. All right, pandemic will speed Bitcoin adoption, says DBS bank economist. Yeah, I'll say. Wait till you see the rest of the news we're about to look at. We see Binance launches fiat crypto exchange for Turkish market. Now, this is really great, and shout out to anybody who's in the Turkish market or in the Turkish country, the country, because I know that the Turkish lira has had enormous struggles and hurdles maintaining its value, and it's been crushed in the past, and I don't know what it is currently today, but I'm sure it's still having a lot of trouble. So shout out to everybody who's in Turkey who has the ability to deal with a crypto exchange, to be able to put your money somewhere where it's not, hopefully it's not as affected by what's happening around the world and within their country, and it's a safe haven for their investment. So, okay, moving on. Look at this. Just bought a Coke with BTC for the first time by using Silo Mobile Wallet. Now, this is just really cool to see. I got to tell you, I love seeing this. This is where we're going. This is where we're going. Just the other day, I covered that Coca-Cola was going to be making the investment into the vending sector of their business where you could buy sodas, Coca-Cola, with crypto. So this is pretty remarkable. So even if it becomes like a Bitcoin thing, or whether it's a conversion of whatever your assets are to a stable coin, this to me is pretty exciting because it's a huge step forward with a major name brand, and it won't be long before they're all in this space and capitalizing, by the way, on the trend. So that's important to note. Brian Brooks, shout out to Brian Brooks. Fintech firms are giving banks the jolt of innovation it needs, I'll say, but they'll be more stable, fair, and efficient if they're nationally chartered. Come on in, Brian Brooks, laying it down. Any day now, we're going to hear a constant cadence of comments and regulation and clarity coming out about cryptocurrency and federally chartered banks and how they can participate in these assets. So it's really remarkable. Here we have the Federal Register, and shout out to Joni and Steve Gould-Bronson, obviously XRP-Crypto Wolf, Michael Val 5 Links, DJ Peter Vass, and anybody else who has sent me information today. There's so many of you, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Federal Register service details on Federal Reserve actions to support interbank settlement of instant payments. This is about the FedNow system, and I'm not going to read you this whole document. I did scan it this morning, and it's why I'm a little late making my video, but it's all positive news, and I'm just going to give you the summary. The Board of Governors of Federal Reserve System has approved the FedNow services as described in this announcement. The FedNow services new interbank 24/7 days a week, 365 a year, real-time gross settlement service with clearing functionality to support instant payments in the United States. The new service will support banks' provision of end-to-end instant payment services and will provide infrastructure to promote ubiquitous, safe, and efficient instant payments in the United States. September 10th, 2020. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And it is very, very detailed document. I do want to highlight that Jess Chang, formerly involved with Ripple, right, is involved in this information and helping to craft, I guess, all of this information for this document. So we'll keep an eye on everything that happens there, but the rollout is happening before our eyes. I know a lot of people are like, well, it's Fed now, it's domestic payments. It doesn't say anything in there about Ripple or XRP. Listen, let's not be so robotic that we can't see the advantages of everything breaking and giving way to the use of the blockchain technology and the innovation that is out here, and about how that eventually from all areas will end up spilling over into the benefits of what XRP is designed to do. So, all right, with that being said, let's keep moving. All right, so here, U.S. Congress, XRP, Crypto Wolf, and everybody else sent this too. Everybody's been so excited, and I don't blame you because it's something to get excited about. U.S. Congress moves closer to regulations for digital assets and blockchain as crypto bills are voted out of the House Energy and Commerce Committee today. U.S. legislators approved crypto bills for study of blockchains and commerce with U.S. governments. Now, listen to what Darren Soto, who has been working very hard to advance blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. The part of the Digital Taxonomy Act made it out of the committee as well, representing the farthest a bill addressing regulatory clarity for blockchain tokens has gotten in the 116th Congress thus far. This is what you take away right here. Shout out to Michael Val 5 Links. This, to me, is how to think of it right here. We are farther now than we ever have been with the push for blockchain and cryptocurrencies in general. That is to note. And along with that, let's remind everybody about the IMF. This came out July 17, 2020. And shout out to, this was Dana Rippler. And I believe we covered this PDF when it came out with Mickey B. Fresh. I believe it is the same PDF, but if not, it highlights Ripple many times in here. I do believe it is the material that we covered. But here, I'll just give you certain shots of this. As in other countries, in Section 95, new non-bank players are entering the payment space, offering innovative services to regulate financial institutions and consumers and merchants. Some of the new fintechs and big tech entrants aim to compete with existing money transfer providers, Ripple, Calibra, while others aim to provide services complementing rather than competing with existing money transfer agents or card schemes by offering mobile or digital wallets or by acting as a payment gateway, user interfaces, or aggregators. Stripe, Square, Amazon Pay, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Facebook Pay, Visa Checkout, PayPal. They try to establish themselves as an additional layers as user interfaces, payment aggregators, or IT service providers, interposing themselves between banks or money transmitters and customer or merchants providing services to existing payment service providers. You get the drill. We're smack dab in the middle of it. This is the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, guys. I mean, this is remarkable. Look at the next little picture here. Same thing here. And this is the document, I'm pretty sure, that we covered. But to me, I just want to tie it back in and show you the narrative, how this is happening domestically and how this is happening on an international take too. It has to work together because all of this starts from the international coalitions and committees and things of that nature, the G20, the FSB, the FATF, all of these things. And this is how you get that coordinated effort where you're like, wow, they never seem to say that they're working together, but somehow everybody seems to be on the right timing to be launching certain things, right? Just like MasterCard came out yesterday and said they're doing a test pilot with central banks for central bank digital currencies. Well, I'll be damned. You know, so here we look at this and you see that RippleNet is cited again as designed as a wholesale payment system without being subject to payment system specific requirements. And that is the material we looked at before. Here, RippleNet highlighted again. It just reinforces everything that we're looking at. And then here in the diagram, you can see obviously RippleNet is cited here. The IMF cited in that document that RippleNet is really should be deemed by FSOC, which I've been talking about for a long time on this channel, the Financial Stability Oversight Council from the U.S. Treasury, a regulatory agency, to deem RippleNet systemically important to the financial market infrastructure. That means it would be held to a heightened prudential and it would be out and out regulated. And obviously, it would also involve a classification of XRP that would probably allow every bank in the world to use it for settlement, just as it is cited in the World Economic Forum document that we've shared here a ton. Okay, so moving forward here, the EU set to introduce new legislation for safe cryptocurrency exchange. See the coordinated effort? You see the momentum that's happening here? Crypto is coming. Oh, it's coming, and it's coming in a big way. And I believe not too very long from now, we're all going to have a really nice-looking portfolio. Crypto Whale states what to expect once XRP scales through regulations. Now, let's just look at this because I thought this person really said some great stuff and because it really reinforces everything that we talk about here on the channel, right? A popular cryptocurrency enthusiast identified on Twitter as Crypto Whale has in a series of tweets shared his opinion regarding steadfastness of Ripple, U.S.-based cross-border payments firm to realize proper regulation of digital token XRP. This is what we need. And once we have it, it's going to change everything because no longer will anybody in the banking world, financial institution world, or the institutional investor world, right, or the small medium enterprise world have to wonder or be curious about what this even is. In fact, I think it's been deliberate why the classification has been held back on it so they can reach a certain inflection point. And when they're ready to get to that, when they do get to that inflection point, they will absolutely give us the classification that they need, but it will benefit us as well. He further opined that the demands of Ripple digital currency will skyrocket once virtually all altcoins are obliterated due to their failure to withstand regulations. A great observation. He further acknowledged that XRP is widely criticized for being too centralized, but he thinks that the criticism is a result of the transparency of the digital currency. I agree. He also revealed his intention to increase XRP holdings once the present price correction in the crypto market bottoms. So I don't know what he's calling for a bottom, but I will say that I really do believe that this comes down to XRP is the only project in the market that is keenly pursuing the regulation of cryptocurrency and working with over 50 governments around the world and regulators from day one. And we're going to see that here in a second as a reinforcement. And here it is right here from Mickey B. Fresh. Played this yesterday. It's 50 seconds. Let's have it here.
Ripple Labs, as an example I brought up earlier. In 2015, Ripple was subject to an enforcement action from FinCEN and the Department of Justice for anti-money laundering violations that were conducted back in 2013. One of the stipulations under that settlement agreement was that Ripple Labs, a company, conduct transaction monitoring and reporting of transactions that are conducted on XRP Ledger, a blockchain. Now, Ripple Labs does not own or operate XRP Ledger, and Ripple Labs does not have anything to do with any of the other entities that connect to that blockchain, with the exception of Ripple subsidiary entities. Ripple does have a financial institution subsidiary, a company that sells cryptocurrency to wholesale buyers. But apart from that, it does not know any of the other entities on this blockchain, nor does it have anything whatsoever to do with it.
And that about sums it up right there. And what I want to say to that is this is one of the reasons I feel that a Ripple IPO is so important for that company, is to fully decouple from XRP and the XRP ledger. And that way they can clearly distinguish the difference between Ripple, the blockchain infrastructure company, and what the asset XRP and the XRP ledger actually are. And the fact that they are decentralized and they are not controlled by Ripple, the company. So I think these things go heavy hand in hand. And it goes to show to you also, it goes to show to everybody that this is how long they have been working with regulators. FinCEN, another regulatory agency connected to the U.S. Treasury. FSOC has the ability to designate SIFMUs or SIFMEs, which are systemically important financial market utility or systemically important financial market infrastructure. I think the Ledger gets that. I think RippleNet gets that. I really do. I really do believe that. And then it can have a heightened potential that they could be out and out regulated and remain decentralized. That's the important key here. The other part is that when I look at the agencies that we just mentioned, they're all connected to what? The regulatory agencies connected to the U.S. Treasury. The OCC has been speaking to cryptocurrency and the Federal Chartered Banking System, because the OCC is the Office of Comptroller of Currency. In my mind, XRP classification is simply a currency. Albeit a bridge currency, it's still a currency. That's how I see it in my mind, and it'd be amazing to see if they do that. Just wanted to highlight here, I've covered this a couple times, but just to highlight here, to reinforce the notion of what the lady was just saying, they are expanding the compliance team for the Bank Secrecy Act at Ripple. Why would they be doing that? Ask yourself. I'm not currently hiring for a crane operator because I don't run a crane operating business or any business that's associated with one. So I'm not hiring one. They're hiring and expanding the bank secrecy team for investigations analysts because they know they have a huge market for everybody who is in compliance with the Bank Secrecy Act, which means the banks or financial institutions, or even in some cases, small, medium enterprises that need to comply. That's the bottom line. So when it comes down to it, it comes down to this. This is the diagram from Ripple Labs. Now, I tell you, I had this diagram that I used to share back in the day. This was put together by Liquid XRP. Shout out to Liquid XRP. May 13th, I had this document on a whiteboard series sometime before that, and he made this much better looking diagram. But this looks an awful lot like the one from Ripple Labs, where Chris Larson was CEO at the time, and now it's Brad Garlinghouse, the role of XRP and Ripple, and it shows right here XRP smack dab in the middle of all the money. And what I can tell you is that people can say what they want and they can take shots at us all they want. This is the goal. And with all the legislation and the movement and the OCC, Fed now rolling out their domestic payments program, whether it involves us or not, it involves blockchain. The reality is crypto is coming. All right, that's going to do it for me, guys. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. I'll catch all of you on the next one and share with somebody you know.